Yo, what's up, people? This is Randy from Learning the Business. Yo, guess what? I can say, I was self made, right? Self made. Now, is that a great thing? After somewhat being whatever you want to call self made, I believe it's not. Just because if you're self made and you have created success by yourself, just imagine what you could do with an incredible team, right? And I know this because when I started my first gym, I worked in the corporate world for a while. I literally been doing this 22 years. So I worked for commercial gyms, I worked for corporate gyms, I worked for private gyms. I did it all. House, going to people's house to train, all that stuff. So independent, working for companies. And then I eventually started working for myself. I still kept the corporate companies because that's where the good money is, but where I was independently contracted. Um, but when I started my own gym, first of all, I moved to Chicago and I knew absolutely nobody. And I worked at the worst job I ever had in my life. And I have to tell you that story on another time. Then I looked for another job, and I realized this ain't for me. So I branched out, did my own thing, right? And technically, I could say, some people would say I was self-made. But to be honest, I wasn't really. Let's get real where, you know, I moved to Chicago, I didn't know anybody. If you're from the South, like I'm from the South, and you move to like a place like Chicago, it's totally different. In the South, when you want to go rent or lease a place, you go in the place, you sign up for an appointment, they take you on a tour, you fill out an application, and either you're approved or you're not. In Chicago, places like that, I'm sure New York is probably the same way. I don't know about LA, you LA West Coasters, you can chime in. In Chicago, they have a little number on the door. You got to call the number, and sometimes they call you back. Most times they do not call you back, at least from my experience. They don't call you back. And it's hard to get in touch with them, and it's hard to even view the space in some of these spaces. And I say that to say, as I'm telling you the story about me being self-made, did I run my gym by myself and do all of the day-to-day by myself? I did. But when I think about it, as I was telling you, is I'm not self-made because number one, when I was leaving my job, I thought that I was going to go to train outside because, being from the South, it'd be warm. But I realized it's extremely cold in Chicago, and I wouldn't be able to train outside till like July when it gets really hot. So what ended up happening was some guy was watching my old YouTube channel, Fit Fury's my old YouTube channel. Somebody from my YouTube channel wanted to meet up and talk about maybe possibly doing a trainer's gym together. But this guy also had access to a building where he was one of the owners at this building, and they had an open spot. He's like, hey, I got a open space. It's not a gym, but if you want to use it, you can for a gym. I'm like, absolutely. I don't give a damn what it is. Anyways, so he connected me with the people. At this time, man, I ain't gonna lie, moving here, I just did not move properly, did not plan properly. And if you know what they say, what is it? If you don't have a plan, then you're I can't remember the saying. A plan, not having a plan is a plan to fail, or whatever, something like that. Somebody hit shit at the bottom, type it in at the bottom down there. But anyways, so my funds were very limited. And then what happened was, a lady that watched my YouTube videos in Seattle, she called me up. She says, hey, I got a client for you. She didn't know my story, but this is the great thing about great people. They're just willing to help anybody, but she doesn't know. That's really what got my gym started. So she puts me on to this lady that I have no clue was. The lady wants me to meet her at her house, and I'm like, oh man, you know. Now I had a certain amount of time to get this first month, last month deposit. You know what it is, first month, last month deposit, and all that. And so, anyways, met this lady, great lady. She was so excited about training. She wrote me out a check right there, which actually paid for my first 4 months at my gym. If you believe in the universe and God, all that, that was God for me right there. So that's what originally got me started. So for me to say I'm self-made, I can't really say that. I'm actually not. Because I think of some of the people who technically did not know me that put me in a position to have a gym, right? Now this gym, it was not a greatest gym, but it was a start. And it was like an old ballroom or cafeteria or something, but it was pretty small. It might have been like 500 or 600 square feet, but enough to make things happen. Now, after that, that's when I tried to do the recruiting. You know, I tried to bring people in, and I did stuff like you know, social media. I tried to hit up social media. I eventually did Groupon, would actually triple my business. But we're gonna talk about Groupon on another one because you got to be careful on Groupon. But every day I showed up. I worked around the clock. I tried to get people in, and eventually I built that gym up to a certain point. I won't say it was successful, but I built it up to a point that I could barely survive. I could put my nose above water. Anyways, when I think about it, when you're self-made, if you're truly self-made, it's the worst thing ever because you have no life. Like you handling every hat in the gym. The marketing side. Are you an expert in marketing? The training side. I mean, you're a trainer, so you should be good at that. The group exercise side, I guess you got to be good at that. The cleaning side, the business side, there's so many different hats you have to wear. And let's just be honest, you're not going to be great in all of them. And even if you are, you're never going to have free time to yourself trying to run these things. Or you're going to just be stressed. And, well, at least in the fitness business, and I'm sure a lot of business, when you're getting it up off the ground, you will not have time to yourself. Because you're wearing so many hats. So if you're able to make that happen by yourself, that's great, but just imagine how much better you can do with a team. Now, there's two things about this team thing. Number one, most likely, you're going to have to start it up. You're going to have to do your own thing over there. Somebody said you're going to have to jump out there because nobody's going to believe in you until you create some type of success. They're just not. They're not going to help you. They're not going to take you serious. And it's just the way it goes. So, your friends, most of your clients are going to be people you don't know. Just be prepared for that. And if you got friends that are supporting you, be very grateful because most times that's not the case. But in the beginning, what I've experienced is that there was no one willing to help me. Well, I had those two people that jumped in, and my members, people that signed up and gave me an opportunity to work with them. But as far as people helping out, doing things to help you get ahead, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. And if it happens, then you need to be grateful for that happening. Extremely grateful, because unless you grew up in that town and you got your family to support you, that's actually supporting you, you got your friends to support you that's actually supporting you in your community, that is an awesome situation. Be grateful. But most times it ain't that way. So in that way, you got to put your head down, grind, build something, make it worth so people want to be a part of the team. Now, finding a great team, that's a whole nother topic of a video, because most people say they want to do stuff, but they don't have the drive that you do. They're not going to take care of your stuff the way you're going to take care of it. And they're not going to, a lot of people aren't going to want to build a business the way you do, unless you find them in the right spaces. I'm going to say, we're going to have a topic on that, but workshops are a great place to go. People who paying for workshops to learn more about fitness and the fitness business, you might be able to find some good team there, or people who want to win for themselves and knows what it takes to win for a team. So I think that's a great place to find a team at. But anyways, for a while I moved to a bigger gym eventually, and a bigger gym, the same thing. It was me by myself, working around the clock, no vacations, no time to de-stress, because you need that as an entrepreneur of anything. You need that time to de-stress and get your mind right, because you get so caught up around the clock in the business and you don't realize the time until you get away, and like, I needed that. But I tell you that story. Eventually I moved to another gym, bigger gym, and I started working with a team. And I'm going to say this: I've been able to do way better. If it's you and people working at 30%, 5 people working at 30% of what you do, you're still ahead of the game, 120%. And if I'm wrong, say it below. But so it's good to have help, because you're going to get further ahead. Now, there is a difference between good and bad help. We're going to get into that. But when you got a team, especially a team that everybody's on the same page trying to win, your success rate jumps up way higher. Your income jumps up way higher on a level that you cannot do alone. So if you're thinking you're making money, you could do 3 to 10 times as much if you got the right team. So self-made, people make it sound good, like, oh, I'm self-made, I want to be self-made. And it's a kind of a selfish mindset. 9 times out of 10, be prepared to be busy around the clock. In business, no matter if you got a team or not, you're going to be busy. If you're an owner, or, you're a major part of the team, you're going to be busy a lot. But you will be busy around the clock if you are being self-made and going at it, doing it all the time. And like I said, in the beginning, you may have to do it. If you're lucky enough to have a good partner, that's amazing. But at the end of the day, just know in your head, I need to build a team to really grow this and 10x this stuff, like Grant Cardone would say. So what I'm saying at the end of this video, because I'm going to get this quick one out here, is self-made is glorified in everything, but if you enjoy freedom, as much freedom as you can get as an entrepreneur, if you enjoy your mental health, self-care, you need a team. And you need a good team. And sometimes you might have to hold out a little bit longer working by yourself to get a good team. But the end goal is to have a good team. And then as you get older, that team begins to run your business itself. And you carry on, because, you can't do it forever. You got to train these people up to pass the torch to your business continuing years and years and years down the road. I just thought about that the other day, just because of the previous video before about, watching a DDE video where he made it and said that there's no one self-made. And as I tell the story, man, I could tell you a whole bunch of crazy stories, but at the end of the day, without people giving you an opportunity, it's very hard to get ahead. So there's no such thing as self-made. And you look at those guys on DDE, you see them in the videos, but you don't think about the camera crew behind them. Well, shit, I wish I had a camera crew. You don't think about the editing, who's editing their videos, who's the experts at YouTube to know to tag the right thing so that their video is seen. They have a whole team playing the game, but you see those 2 guys, they're the leaders. But I think they have a great team together. That's why they are where they're at. Anyways, just a little quick video for y'all. There's no such thing as self-made. And if you are self-making it right now, keep grinding hard, but start looking for people that are on the same page as you, that want to win, that aren't slackers. Until then, I'll see you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video. I got some other good stuff coming next week. Next time I'm going to talk about, I do want to talk about Groupon, picking a team, and the whole working and hiring employees and contractors. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace. All right, there we go.